Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is Lights Out Racing Round 9, non-assists. We are here in Amsterdam, or just outside Amsterdam, at Zandvoort. This is the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm really excited to be here. And as always, I am joined by Biggles in the pit lane and my good friend and buddy Nihai. Interesting tidbit for this week is Nihai is actually you can look this up. Nihai is a slang term in Chinese, a deviation of hello, which you say to someone who you strongly dislike. So you can look that up and use that. But yes, that's what Nihai means. How are you doing today, Nihai?
Well, and knee high to you today as well.
Thanks, buddy.
Proper use there. But yeah, I'm doing well. Looking forward to another race here, non-assists.
For sure. It should be an exciting race. This is the first time that these drivers will have raced competitively on this track. At least most of these drivers will not race competitively on this track before. Assist 1 had our race on Saturday. But these guys, Zandvoort's a new circuit for this year. Obviously, we don't see that in the real Formula 1. But we get to enjoy it in the game, which is going to be great for everybody. But it's going to be a unique challenge for these guys, especially, I think, just looking at the track, turn 3, or 4 actually, downhill banked left-hander. It's very difficult not to lock up there without ABS. But you raced here. What were your thoughts? What do you expect to see?
Yeah, so for tough, I think the toughest parts of the track are, of course, your entry and exit into turn 3. It's easy to lose grip there on the exit of turn 3 that hard, a complete 180 degree. And then, of course, your entry into the high-speed corners of 7 and 8. It's really easy to brake too early there because you get scared not being able to see the corner entry. And so you can lose a lot of time through there. And then, of course, the banked curve coming out towards the final straight, turn 13, is also really important to get a good exit off of to maintain that speed all along the home stretch. So I think those will be the key areas to watch for these drivers.
And as always, qualifying position is going to be extremely important at this track. There are a few overtaking opportunities, but they are quite difficult and limited. Obviously, at the end of the home straight going into turn 1 is one. There's also a second DRS zone near the end of Sector 2. That's a possibility. But really, you almost have to rely on people making a mistake in order to get past. So it's going to be really important for these guys to put in a good qualifying session and finish up high on the grid for the race later on. But
Absolutely.
That's enough from us. Let us see if Biggles is available with any info. How are you doing today, Biggles?
I'm doing very good, thank you very much. I'm excited to see these drivers around this Dutch track. I not have any idea how well they're going to be able to perform. I can't even give you any strategies right now. The team are keeping that really quiet right now, all the teams. Jeff isn't even talking to me right now. He might be upset at me. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of championship. Let's see what Izzy and stuff like. Actually, it looks like Izzy right now is sitting purples. So as we expect, probably will cross the line and get P1. There it is, 109.5. But yeah, I'll do my best. I'm up here with the FIA, tons of screens, tons of information, and yeah, back to you guys.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's going to be interesting tire choice here. It does look like most people are going on softs, a few on the mediums, but it can be a difficult one-stop race if you go soft hards. I think a lot of people might be counting on the safety car coming out for a few laps and giving them a few extra laps on those tires to kind of preserve the tread for a few more laps later in the race. But yes, I believe the weather does call for some rain at some point. I'm not sure if it's in the race. It looks like it will be during the race. I don't know exactly if at the start or at what point, but that could definitely be interesting, and it's going to be even more important to qualify high up in the grid so you're not caught up in the chaos of the midfield.
Yeah, well, fortunately for the assist race, we didn't have a wet race, but it did come at the end of qualifying, and even trying to control or at the beginning of qualifying, I believe, and even trying to control the car there was just another level of difficult. difficulty.
A secondary component, if there is rain during the race, is unlike last year's game, F1 2020 really puts an onus on having a good wet weather setup. So that's going to be interesting for these guys, if they weren't aware if it was going to rain or not. But if you put on a dry setup for quali to get your maximum time, you're going to be in a severe disadvantage when it comes to the race later on. So it could be interesting to see if these guys, maybe we might see some slower times than normal in quali just because those guys are using their wet weather setup that they'll be able to then have peak performance during the race.
Yeah, we'll see how these drivers have prepared. See if any of them have gone to time trials and seen any of the wet weather setups that are available there.
Obviously, we're on board right now with Ramacron. Unfortunately, his engine is having fun, but as he goes into the pits and does not set a lap, he was the race winner in Japan last time. That was his first race win of the season, I believe. He's very excited about that. But I don't think many people seem very confident about how they will do, as we have a horrible crash. T-Boy looks like he is DNF'd into the wall without setting a lap time, and he's going to be pretty upset with that. Looks like Luis Maya also disqualified, so they are going to be on the back of the grid, the two Red Bulls. Home track for the Red Bulls. Well, technically not, but for Verstappen. And they won't be too happy about that.
It looks like we have 3 drivers trying the mediums right now.
Yep.
Earl Jenkins, Noon, and Buffalo Beans. But looks like they're a good second to second and a half, or even 2 seconds actually off the pace that's being set at the top there with FSD issue.
On board with MLB Prodigy. See if he can do when he crosses the line. Not a great but good enough to put him into P6. But he's almost 2 seconds off Ize in pole position, provisional pole position right now. So we'll see. I'm a little disappointed with Duck Lovers. I think he's a name to watch for this race. He had a brilliant outing in the Assist 1 race on Saturday, taking home his first victory of the season as well. So both Ramacron and Duck Lovers are coming off some pretty emotional highs. So we'll see if that is able to translate to this rather technical track. Because if you get too carried away, it's easy to make a mistake, which will ruin your race. But it should hopefully give him the confidence to go ahead and challenge for victory today.
Well, yeah, he obviously won on this track in the assist race, so he seems to have a good mastering, as you mentioned, of the second track. So we'll see if FST can match him today.
All right, as looks like MLB ruined his. Let's go on board with Duck Lovers. Looks like he is on his hot lap, coming through through sector 1. This is a difficult right-hander here. You just are just slightly on the brakes, and then you have to trust the grip as he's 1.5 tenths up as you keep that accelerator all the way down through there. Easy to lose the rear through the section of corners, especially in the wet. These guys are going to have a very difficult time. And the exit out of that corner is extremely important because you carry that speed through the second DRS zone. Looks like he just manages to get past the drivers on a cool-down lap.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you guys. Looks like Duck Lovers in P4 set the fastest purple sector, is lighting up the board there. Personal best for the first sector. Because Duck Lovers on for another podium.
We shall see. He will want front row, and he does have front row. Goes almost half a second faster than his first lap, 109.9. I think he's going to be pretty happy with that right now. Ize is going to give himself a shot. Ize had a difficult time of it in Japan, his home track, but he's
Sorry to interrupt you again. Looks like Romacron running on P15 right now in the McLaren. He's lighting up the lighting boards. P2, fastest second sector. What can he do about this? Definitely going to be in the top. There it is.
Oh, there he is. The second McLaren knocks Duck Lovers off by half a. Yeah, that is very close there between those top two, top three, well, top four, not including it. Ize, but let's see what Ize is able to do here as he is coming through Sector 2. Good job by these drivers staying out of the way for those guys on the hot lap. Awkward corner here with a late apex. Good to trying to get the power down as quickly as possible. And then that turn 14 is extremely difficult to get right. You do not want to touch the curbs because it will send you wide. And it looks like a very good, a 109.1. That is a blistering time, and it's going to be difficult for everyone else to match that. Ize's back and looking to assert his dominance once again.
Looks like his Japan woes are over for now.
All right.
Yeah, pretty quiet right now. Race control, just to give you an update right there. It looks like the top speeds are around, I think it's Ezzy right now at the moment. The top speed, 341 kilometers per hour. Sorry, I apologize. You guys are in the miles per hour. I cannot have any conversions to that. But that speed difference might be a little incorrect. But 326 might actually be the realistic. Like 326, 325 looks like to be the top speed that these guys are pulling down the main straight. So back to you guys.
Thank you. Ionize is 2/10 up through Sector 2. Just has to nail 3 more corners. Now just 2 more corners. Really just 1 because this one is just flat out. And here he comes. He needs to improve by 2/10 to move back up into P3. And he does. He improves by just under 2/10. Sneaks past Duck Lovers by less than 3 thousandths. As Dick Tucker sets a 109.1. And the times are really starting to fall now as we approach 4 minutes of qualifying. Looks like.
Yeah, we'll see what we have. 4 minutes left, so we'll start seeing these top drivers come out for their final lap here in a couple minutes.
So far, guys, in race control with the strategy, so far it looks like Prodigy's the only guy he's still in P9 on the mediums. A couple of guys back behind, Buffalo, Bob Beans, and Karen on the medium compound there, and Kamel as well. But Kamel set a faster lap on the softs. So what can they do? Our boy hasn't validated his lap. He will not be able to improve. All I'm seeing is whites right now on the timing screens. Not many. Big Lovins might improve a little bit. He's improved on his second sector. Blue Cow improved on his first sector. He's back in P19. Big Lovers is in P13. So nobody's lighting up the timing screens right now with purples. So I'll get back to you if I get any purples, shall we say.
We're on board with Rez, who matches his first time in Sector 1. And he will want to definitely crack the 110s to try to challenge the top 5. But very competitive racing here within the top 6 drivers. And even in the midfield below that, from 7 to 11 or 12, or actually, from 11 all the way to 14. You have different choices of medium to soft tire, which obviously influence your track time, but your lap time. As Rez crosses the line, improves by 1/10, but is unable to crack the 110s. And is almost a 110 flat. He will be disappointed in that, but improves his time slightly.
Looks like Duck Lovers is 2 tenths up.
He
here
is,
through sector 2.
and he looks like he's getting a little bit of a tow. Hopefully the guy will get out of his way as he's coming through. This might help him. A little bit of tow from Blue Cow. Down the straight. Will it be what he needs? Improves by 1600. 1600s, I think. That's how you say that. Back up into P3. Look at that difference between the McLarens. That is so tight. But really, it's a big difference here between, as Ramacron's unable to match his first time, stays in P4. But first and second, front row, very tight. Second row, very tight. Third row, very tight. Just some really competitive driving right now. So this, is obviously good signs for the race, but very interesting indeed.
Yep, Noon improved. It looks like Bob Beans is also improving. He's improving his personal best back in P13. What can he do as he's going to cross the line?
And he goes 10th, up from 13th. Let's see here. If there's anyone else on a lap right now. Does not look like that is the case. 1 minute left to quali, so if you're not out on the track, you won't get a lap in at this point. Looks like Buffalo Beans is happy with his medium tire choice. Will stay at 111.7, rather stay in 13 rather than put an extra lap on those tires.
Speaking of which, there too, a fan shout out there from Groom Lock. Thank you very much for following the Twitch stream. Buffalo Beans fan favorite. There you go.
So it looks like both tracing points are going for medium tires, along with Camel in the Alpha Tauri. So everyone else going for softs. Ionize has 4 laps on those tires. I'm not sure what that is. Not a smart decision if I were him, but so be it, as Noon has retired as well. Let's see here.
Pick Tucker and FST both on their hot laps.
FST is yet to cross the line, so
Yeah, I don't think he was realizing that the time was running out.
He
was
seems
it slowly.
He seems set to go, so I don't know if my time is not quite accurate. Maybe not. It must not be quite accurate, my time.
Yeah.
Another shout out there on the Twitch there from Zae Benice, sorry. Rez doing an amazing job of being a reserve.
I don't think Rez wants to classify himself as a reserve, but yes, he will definitely want to improve over his unfortunately taken out last week in Japan. Very frustrating for him, but he will hope to improve. Let's go on board with Dick Tucker, who is half a tenth up. He might be able to get pole position here, and he does. Let's go back with FST. He is also just up on his time, and he backs out of it. Must have made a mistake in Sector 2, and he will not have pole position. Let's go with Rez, who is just negative. I think he and MLB are the last drivers on track, but
I think as he might be sandbagging right now in that second sector, he did have to avoid the car, although he can't improve. Then again, he did say before he was going to probably try to start from the back of the grid and work his way through, I believe, in the last interview.
as we have drivers retiring, and Rez gets on the power as early as he can. Yellow flags, but that doesn't matter. Back to green. Where will he cross the line? Improves, but stays in P6. And I believe that should be all she wrote in qualifying. Quite competitive. Really great driving. Almost cracked the 109s. Almost had a 108.
Was that all she wrote? Just another qualifying?
Yep. But really great driving from these guys. Really impressive. And that's going to be super important for Dick Tucker. Pole position, wet race. Should be interesting. Hope these guys are careful.
Yeah, and just looking at the telemetry information right now, best lap time did obviously go to Dick Tucker, a 109, almost 109 flat there. He, however, didn't set the fastest first sector. Fastest first sector went to Izzy, and then Dick Tucker got the fastest second sector, and Izzy got the third sector. So there's not too much, as you can see, with the gap there between these two guys.
As the clock ticks down, and we should be finished with qualification in a moment. But Ionize is in an interesting position. 4 laps on those softs. Not exactly sure why he chose to go for that. But he's going to be a bit... Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if it's a wet race. He'll obviously be on wets or intermediates if the start is wet. So probably doesn't matter. Which I guess does raise the question, why did some of these drivers opt for mediums unless maybe the race start is dry and it becomes wet later in the race? So that could be interesting tactic, we shall see. All right, we'll review the grid here in a moment. And here is your grid. Dick Tucker, first position, FST Ize in second. Those are your front row. Extremely competitive, separated by 700ths. And then Duck Lovers and Ramacron, also extremely competitive, separated by less than 300ths. And then the third row separated by half a tenth. Really impressively competitive first 3 rows. Ionize Rez, Noon, Owlboy, Earl Jenkins, Bob Baines, MLB Prodigy, Camel, Buffalo Beans, Big Lovins, Karen Smith, Iceton, Blue Cow, T-Boy. And along with T-Boy in the back row, both Red Bulls, Louise Maya. That is the end of qualification. Thank you so much for watching. We will be back in 1 moment with the race. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Zandvoort, the Dutch Grand Prix. This track is back on the calendar after nearly a 60-year absence. As you can see, it is a rather interesting track, very curvy, 4.2 kilometers, 2 DRS zones. As you can see, it's very flat. This track is right along the coast, and as you know, Holland, they reclaimed it from the sea, so they don't really have many hills to work with, but really a beautiful track, very difficult and technical for these drivers. They are on the grid and excited to race, preparing their setups. It looks like on the track it is still dry, but we should probably be expecting rain momentarily. Nihai, let's go to you. What is your key to success for these drivers today?
Well, since it will be a wet race, it looks like later on, it'll be that transition. So we'll see, gauging that pit time to go on the intermediate tire or full wet. We'll see what drivers can get that right and pull out the win here.
For sure, it looks like with the dry start, the medium runners will hope that the tires will the rain will hold off long enough so that the soft dry runners have to pit for something else before the intermediates, but we shall see how that goes. Apologies for that. And as the drivers are just finishing up their formation lap. McLaren's on the second row. Team orders. What will they challenge each other going into turn 1? Who shall know? But it's going to be really important for these guys to warm up their tires. Doesn't look like anyone has been disqualified from the formation lap, which is always good to see. But
Yep.
I can't... Sorry, go ahead.
We've seen those McLarens clash in the past, so we'll see if the team has talked some sense into their drivers to get the points today.
For sure. All right, we are almost ready to go. And here we go. 5 lights. The lights are out. And the drivers are... will be away here shortly. As we have a jump start, and the drivers are away. Great start by Dick Tucker. FST is challenging down the inside. Both McLarens, they have just touched, but looks like they get through there. As we have a Haas spinning in the middle of the track there, ghosted. Ize looks like he has the... Dick Tucker and Ize are battling hard through turn 4, and looks like Dick Tucker has managed to keep hold of pole position. We have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Duck Lovers is P3. Rez moves up 2 positions past Ramacron to P4. And it looks like we are now further back down the hill, down the grid, filing through. No safety car yet. Looks like all the drivers got away cleanly, except for the Haas. And we are racing at Zandvoort.
Yeah, Ionides there losing 12 positions off the start, as well as MLB Prodigy losing 7.
So it looks like Ionides was the Haas that I saw spinning further back.
Yes.
And that is a very tricky curb into turn 1. If you touch the curb on the inside there, it is like an ice rink, and away you will slide. So that's probably what happened. As we have a number of drivers battling for position. Looks like Noon moves past Earl Jenkins into P6, and Bob moves past Camel into P9. Both Red Bulls have made a great start. So they're up 6 and 4 positions, respectively. And Blue Cow looks like he has some damage into the pits.
Yeah, Blue Cow is boxed, as you said, to Ionides, dropped 13 positions off the grid, sorry. And Rez sets his new fastest sector. Yeah, Blue Cow is still in the pits right now, so he's either serving a penalty or a damaged front wing. So I will let you know on that as Rez sets fastest.
As it looks like T-Boy gets a bit squirrely there coming out of that corner, and he's going to drop down to 18. I know someone had a jump start and they have a drive-through penalty. I do not remember who that was, as it looks like we have Ionides going side by side with Isotin, and he makes the move stick. He's trying to recover from his bad start. As further up the field, Luis Maya in the Red Bull gets past Big Lovins.
It was Karen Smith with the jump start.
Karen Smith. As Dick Tucker has spun. Dick Tucker has spun in turn 1. He is dropping way down the order. This is a horrible moment for Dick Tucker. Pole position, and he's going to come out well down the grid. It looks like his front wing is intact, but he definitely touched. As we have Big Lovins into turn 4, spinning away. He will not want to, as he recovers. Really few crazy moments between Dick Tucker and Big Lovins. Just losing it on the greasy surface. And they're made to pay for it. Looks like he lost his right wing.
Yeah, we're seeing turns 1 and 3 really catching drivers
as
out.
Dick Tucker is trying to battle back up through the field. As I don't know what that was. I think that was a game glitch because Rez was mounting Rumacron like a dog in heat. But it looks like that was just a bit of a glitch in the game, thankfully. And we don't have to
start censoring the video there for
a
second.
Gray that out. But Rumacron back into P3. Well, back up behind Duck Lovers as he started behind. And let's go on board with Allboy. Sorry, guys, for jumping around, but there's so much action going on. It's hard to keep track of everything as Allboy's right along the back of Bob Baines, but locking up a bit, and that's going to drop him further back. Probably the key thing here that I'm noticing is MLB Prodigy takes the move on Luis Maya as I see a few drops of rain coming down now.
Yeah.
So this surface is already going to become even more greasy as it looks like Luis Maya maybe is disconnected. That is unfortunate. But yeah, these drivers are definitely going much slower around these corners here than they would normally. And as the rain keeps on falling, it's going to be more and more difficult to
Sorry
keep
to interrupt
traction.
you guys there. Look, T-Boy and Big Lovins were in the box, and they've gone to the Inters. Are they
As
taking a big gamble right
MLB
now?
Prodigy spins coming out of that corner. It is greasy, too quick on the power, and he's back down to 15th. Who is on the intermediates again, Biggles? Sorry.
We're looking at both T-Boy and Big Lovins. They've just said, you know what? Jeff's told them they go to the Inters. As you said, the spots of rain. Are they taking an early gamble? We shall see.
We shall see. The rain is definitely coming down harder, so it could be a huge thing. Really interesting is FST has been unable to open up very significant of a lead. I kind of expected he would, being 6/10 up on Duck Lovers per lap, but staying within half a second is Duck Lovers, as we have a yellow in Sector 1.
Not
Yeah, I
sure.
believe that. Sorry to interrupt you there. I believe somebody was calling out there a forecast for rain from Stevie Gaming. So good job on calling that one, Stevie Gaming. You might be right on that one. So back to you guys.
As we go on board with Buffalo Beans, Dick Tucker, obviously a very fast driver, is wanting to get back up further higher up into the points. Love this camera angle. Hunting away, poking and prodding. It looks like Buffalo Beans does go wide. Dick Tucker is through and back up into P8. Buffalo Beans loses the position there. Just caught out a little bit with the wet. Didn't brake early enough. And away he goes. It's going to be interesting when these guys... This bank corner, turn 14, is going to be very fun as it wets up. Easy to lose the rears through there.
Yeah, I've been power sliding around that corner too often when in the wet, so it'll be interesting to see what happens as the track is now getting a lot more greasy.
Yeah, Blue Cow's boxed as well. He's P19 plumb left. He's also gone to the Inters. So whether this strategy can work will be an interesting call.
As Ionize gets past Louise. And struggling for traction once again as it looks like Duck Lovers is spun. Duck Lovers has spun coming out of turn 10. And that has dropped him back. Earl Jenkins is going to... Whoa.
Oh my.
I don't know. As a safety car is out, I do not know what that was.
I hope that was a glitch, because that was...
And
I believe the safety car was for Duck Lovers, and we went off there maybe because he was very slow at regaining it and he got caught in the sand
that
traps.
could be a very good safety car for Duck Lovers. Obviously, he's going to need to... As Ramacron gets a drive-through penalty, so FST, Ise has no one to challenge him right now. But it looks like the safety car was a bit too late for him to get out. It looks like, actually... Is that... I'm trying to think... As everyone is into the pits, going to intermediates, Duck Lovers will get his wing fixed.
Yeah, super busy down the pit lane right now. Ed DeCole is the mediums. Jeff is very busy. He's running between all the garages right now. He's trying to give all the real ending information. I don't think anybody's taking a gamble right now. Everybody that is boxing, apart from Dick Tucker right now, who might actually be staying out on the mediums. Interesting strategy for him, as well as Prodigy and also Iceton, not changing to the Inters just yet.
And Ramacron just pitted for hards.
Really? That might be a I think that was probably an accident. And
Hey,
he has a drive-through penalty. He has a drive-through. I think he was probably hoping to do a drive-through penalty, but you cannot serve the drive-through penalty during the safety car. So it looks like the game probably put him on the hard tires, so he's going to have to pit for intermediates and do his drive-through penalty. And that is going to put him way down the grid. Wouldn't surprise me if he pits again right now. Very unfortunate for Duck Lovers. As let's see if Ize he's caught the safety car. And I'm really surprised he didn't go into the pits because now he's going to lose a number of positions. Maybe not. Maybe he will not. But he stays out. So he's feeling confident with those soft tires. We shall see if that's a mistake or not.
I believe Earl spun coming out of there into the second sector. That dropped him back down to 12th. He's in the Renault there. He didn't like those intermediate tires, obviously, but yeah, he'd spun. It was one of the Renault drivers, and I believe it was Earl who was running in P12.
As Bob gets a penalty and goes in. Well, he was in the pits. And Duck Lovers.
Yeah, sorry as well. Karen stopped on track as well. Where's Karen? Running in P16. So these are slippery conditions right now. These drivers are really struggling.
As Noon gets a penalty.
A lot of time penalties here with the pit exit.
Yeah. So this could be very interesting to see how it all turns out. Rez in third position here with his intermediate tires could be in a great position, especially if the two drivers in front need to pit. Ramacron obviously has his drive-through penalty he has to do. So Rez is in provisional P2. Dick Tucker is on the mediums. That is interesting. He did not pit, so back up near the top of the grid, but he's going to try to hope to make those medium tires last.
Yeah, what is its call right now with Ezzy? He is on the soft compound, and as you had mentioned before, Dick Tucker is on the medium, and then Ramacron's on the hards. So this is going to be interesting. It's wet, it's slippery, but is it that crossover point right now as Ezzy is behind the safety car?
Those are 8-lap-old soft tires, and they're not going to last extremely long at Zandvoort anyway, so those are well-worn soft tires in the wet. So I am very surprised that's what he's going with, but to each their own.
Wait, he's
As
pitting now.
he is pitting, the top FS and Ramacron are in the pits, and Rez and Buffalo Beans, as we have a collision further back down during the safety car.
Yeah, I'm down in the pit lane right now. This is a bad. I think it's a bad call right now.
As Ionides, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're right.
As Ionides picks up some damage on his front wing, and Rez and Buffalo Beans and Allboy, everyone who pitted early for those intermediate tires, are in a great position. Even Duck Lovers after his spin back into P5, but Rez, Mercedes really with the master stroke, P1 and P3 with their strategy, and they are going to be very happy right now. Looks like they're coming into Sector 2. I don't know if we want to maybe take a look back at the start of the race. Let's see if I have that.
Sorry to interrupt you there. It looks like somebody just went off under the safety car. It's Ionides. Ionides
Really?
is out.
Sorry,
Let's watch the restart of the start.
I was trying to bring up the replay, but is Ionides out of the race? It looks like yes, he is. Looks like my hotkeys are unfortunately slightly messed up, so I'm sorry about that. And it looks like Rez is backing up the pack. We are about to go green. The safety car will be in. The helicopter's still flying, though. Great view of these cars slowly snaking through turn 12, 13, approaching turn 14. Safety car is not yet in the pit, so we'll see where Rez goes. Rez looks like he is going green. Will he beat the safety car? That is the question. As Rez loses it, rejoins the track. Looks like everyone avoided him, thankfully. Buffalo Beans takes the lead of the race. Earl Jenkins retires as well. Crazy, crazy restart as Rez gets past Allboy. Not exactly sure where his Duck Lovers is. A bit of contact with Camel as well. Very tight between these guys. As Duck Lovers is off the track, trying to rejoin. Doesn't get any damage, but loses the position to Camel. Rez is going to fight back and try to get that back. But Duck Lover is able to stay on to P3. These drivers are trying to drive quickly, but the rain is really coming down in torrents. And the track is extremely wet. as Allboy looks to maybe try to get a move. It looks like Rez is missing his front right end plate, and so without that extra downforce, he is definitely going to be struggling. But Buffalo Beans takes the lead of the race after that safety car restart. I do not know how Rez did not get any more significant damage than that. He lost it horribly coming out of that banked turn 15, but was able to hang on and stay into P4. So impressive from him.
Yeah, able to save it there. Almost spinning off on the start there.
As Bob Banus is really struggling, losing 2 positions to Isotin and Ize, trying to fight back down the outside, but Ramakron in P10 is going to have a sniff here as well going down the main straight. It's really going to be really testy to try to get the power down, get as much speed as you can, as we have a Red Bull. That is T-Boy, who has spun further back, and he will rejoin the track. And only yellow flag, no, but it looks like Ramakron is into the pits for his intermediate. Ramakron's intermediate tires. Duck Lovers gets past Camel into P2, and he will look to hunt down Buffalo Beans here in a moment. Just looks like Rez, I don't know if Rez had another, no, Rez pitted for a new front wing. He is bound into P11. And Ize, despite poor strategy choices, is up into P6 with his intermediate tires. So we shall see how that goes.
All right, and I've got some update from the pit lane. Unfortunately, I'm not bringing Ionides into the chat, but he was telling me about some huge cockroach that was crawling inside his cockpit. So I think that might have just thrown him off, and that was the reason why he's retired from the game.
Vettel struggled with that all weekend in Silverstone. There was something crawling around in his cockpit, so it doesn't surprise me that it really throws you off your game. As newcomer to this league, friend of Dick Tucker's, down P12. He is in P4. So, 2 retirements, Earl Jenkins and Ionides, right after the restart. Ionides obviously had the cockroach. I did not exactly see what happened to Earl Jenkins. Unfortunate for him. But we shall see. Let's go on board with Rez, as he is going to be challenging T-Boy down the straight into turn 1. Who will break latest? T-Boy leaves the space. Rez trying to hang on to the inside, but doesn't quite have the traction, but he does able to pull ahead. T-Boy backs out wisely, coming in to turns 3 and 4, and will move back into P11. Good race between those two. I didn't think Rez had the traction, but he was able to get it done. As Dick Tucker is
I have to give you a little shout out there. There's Groom Lock, Go Beans Go, and Go Beans Go. He did set the fastest first sector, and remember, he's the only guy right now on the wet tires. So if he can keep the pace up right now, although he had a really slow second sector, he may be on a great strategy. No, he's boxing right now, so maybe those wets are a little too early.
All right. Well, Dick Tucker with he added some balls to his name, and he had a very brave overtake on T-Boy there through the miniature S's 4, 5, and 6, and P11. As let's go on board with Duck Lover, as FST Ize gets past Allboy, moving up into P5, and Duck Lover will really want to get past Buffalo Beans here as soon as he can, but might have to bide this time as Duck Lovers is struggling. Both Duck Lovers and Buffalo Beans are struggling for traction, trying to get the power down as quickly as they can, but the intermediate tires in these wet conditions are just not answering the call. And they're going to have to be careful to not spin out. Duck Lovers obviously has horrible nightmares of this exact corner earlier in the race that brought out the safety car. And he is very ginger, shifting up early in the rev range to try to maintain his traction. Both these guys are struggling to stay in position.
You can really hear the car fighting for traction there as they upshift out of those corners.
This could be an interesting challenge for the lead. Will Duck Lovers be close enough? Half a second back. Not sure if that's enough. Obviously, DRS is enabled. You do have ERS that you can push overtake on, but you want to be careful in how you deploy it as you come out of turn 15. Looks like Duck Lovers has a great run on Buffalo Beans. Moves to the inside line. Has the speed. Wheel to wheel. leaves some space on the outside. Buffalo Beans tucks in behind, but Duck Lovers moves up into P1 of the race. Lap 14, almost halfway there, and he is in P1 and will hope to go back-to-back race wins here at Zandvoort. Good effort at defense by Buffalo Beans. Didn't defend too hard. He could have gone for the inside line. Didn't do so. Decided to stay on the racing line. And Duck Lovers just had the speed to go through. And I guess that might be the way to go, as Ize is looking at Noon. Right on his gearbox, we have yellow in Sector 3. It looks like someone's in the pit. It looks like Karen Smith is in the pits. Maybe he's lost a bit of front wing. What excitement. Let me catch up my breath.
Yeah, you're correct down the pit lane right now. Front wing is being replaced on the pink Mercedes. Racing Point.
Tracing Point.
So, yeah. Yeah, and out on the same Inters as well.
All right. Well, it seems like the drivers all have reached a consensus. Inters are the way to go, not full wets. And we'll see how that goes, as FST has a great opportunity here. 3/10 down on Noon. We'll try to move up into P4s. We have yellow in Sector 2. It looks like that is Bob Banis, Sir Bennett in the... As we will go back on that first. But FST with the run, using his overtake button into P4. Well, I say that Noon is fighting quite well, trying to stay around the outside, but he's just not going to quite have that grip on the normal racing line, and Ize is moving up into P4.
Yeah, we already see Duck Lovers getting almost a 2-second gap at the front there as soon as he got past Buffalo Beans. So we'll see if
Bob goes deep on the brakes, past Blue Cow. Well done. Good overtake up into P16, trying to regain a few positions that he lost there a few moments back. And, you know, sometimes these drivers are going so slowly, I almost am thinking there's a safety car deployed. But it's just the wet weather makes it extremely difficult on these guys.
Exactly. The leader is now lapping 121.5.
So that
121.4.
11 seconds slower than qualifying.
Yeah, the qualifying is 131.1. The fastest lap in the race right now is 112.7. So you can obviously see they're struggling right now just to keep the car on the track.
I would expect that lap was done in the dries, but at the start of the race. But
I'm guessing they're a good 10 seconds off.
As Ramacron, Luis Maya is having severe technical issues, and Ramacron moves past. As Ize moves past his teammate Campbell into P3. I unfortunately missed it. Looks like Campbell might have had a bit of a trouble coming out of turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, it went a bit wide there.
It looks like Bob is spun coming out of the final turn and is struggling to rejoin the track. His day is going from bad to worse, and Campbell's following down the order. I don't know if his setup isn't quite right, but Noon is hunting him down now.
Alboy had boxed there. Sorry to interrupt there, but Alboy had boxed for some reason. He was on the inters. He's boxed again and gone back out on the inters. I didn't quite see whether or not he had No, he didn't actually change a front wing, so something's wrong there. And now he's all going to be on the back of Ramacron as Dick Tucker makes the pass from Ramacron as well.
As MLB is trying to get past Isotin side by side through turn 11, and MLB gets way too eager on the throttle. Isotin stays into P7 as Noon has had a tremendous crash coming out of the final corner. Way too eager on the accelerator. He's quickly into the pits. Lucky did not DNF, and he's going to get a new set of tires. Looking to go full wets, so this could be interesting. Looks like he has a time penalty, and we'll get a new front wing as Ize is going to try to wiggle past Buffalo Beans, and he will do so easily. Much better traction coming out of turn 4, and he has 5 seconds to try to hunt down Duck Lovers. As Camel also gets past Buffalo Beans. Looks like Buffalo Beans had a bit of a spin there, and he is missing his right end plate, so a very unfortunate set of events for Buffalo Beans. He's going to be upset. His fans are going to be upset, but he is definitely struggling. as Rez is now behind Isotin. And will be Prodigy.
Yeah. And during this, Noon has boxed, and he is going to gamble on the wet tires. So he's running as obviously in P9 right now. I'll keep an eye on lap times, and I'll get back to you guys to see whether or not that was a great move for the Ferrari driver, or whether or not that was too early to gamble.
All right, as we have a train of 3 drivers, Rez, Isotin, and Dick Tucker, all trying to get past each other. This could get fun. Rez moving to the inside. Dick Tucker, as Isotin goes deep. There's a bit of contact. Rez is forcing Dick Tucker to the outside. Went off track. Great move. Double overtake there by Dick Tucker. Will he be able to hang on inside? A little bit of contact there with Rez as they're coming out of turn 14 through turn 15. Will he be able to keep the power down? Do not slide. He does so. Dick Tucker moves up into P6. See if Rez is able to fight back into the braking zone. A little bit too far back, it looks like. He will drop back in. Isotin loses 2 positions there in a matter of corners. Buffalo Beans is in the pits for a new set of tires. And I want to check Isotin here to see if he has any damage. It looks like he is fine. A little bit of contact between those 3, fighting for position in the wet, but pretty good, clean racing between those as a virtual safety car is out. I'm not sure exactly what for. Virtual safety car is out.
I'm quite sure. Yeah, exactly. As Noon boxes, he's not happy with those wets. I guess, as you said before, the box from Buffalo had switched to the inters. Still, it looks like it's completely inters. Right now,
looks like he's changing his front wing again, and he is going through front wings quicker than, I don't know, they go through baseballs in a baseball game. I do not know, but his team's not going to be happy about that. As we are back to green, still a 5-second gap between first and second place. We'll see if that holds up moving forward. And it looks like Rez is looking to try to get back at Dick Tucker as quickly as possible. Lap 19 of the Dutch Grand Prix. We have 17 laps to go. Just over halfway there. There you go. Thank you, Zay. Goes through more front wings than I go through Girl Scout cookies while I'm alone and depressed. But we shall see. P14, he's going to have a struggle to come back up into the points. But FST is already closing the gap a bit by half a second to Duck Lovers. So we shall see if that continues as Buffalo Beans is in the pits once again. Looks like
he's serving a drive-through penalty.
Drive-through penalty for the virtual safety car. Don't think he's going to lose many positions, though. So good for him on that. As let's go back. Well, nope, he stays in P9, so stays in the points. Drive-through penalty didn't cost him anything. Good for him. As looks like MLB Prodigy is off the track. Don't think he has damage. He just lost his car a bit, went deep, and Isotin is back up and hunting him down. But Dick Tucker and Rez move up, P4 and P5 respectively, getting past MLB Prodigy.
As he boxes. Why is he boxing right now? This is interesting strategy. Is it time for the wets?
Looks like he has a penalty of some sort.
A penalty.
I think he's serving a 5-second.
And he goes on the wets.
Wow. Okay.
So
Let's see how that works out for him. I'll keep an eye on the lap times for you.
That could be very interesting. Campbell moves back up into P2. I don't know. I'm guessing these drivers will have to pit again soon, because those intermediates are not going to last till the end of the race. As we have another yellow flag, as it looks like, is that Bob again? Is Bob? Yes, it is Bob. Bob is having
Bob, first sector.
a horrible time of it. Zandvoort in the wet is not for him. And he is P17, still P17, as he's going to be lapped once again by Camel.
Yeah, sorry about that, all those fans out there that are supporting Bob. Let's see if Bob can mount a good comeback.
All right. Sorry.
Camel almost losing it.
As FST is back up against Camel, those wet tires must be doing the trick, because he gets the overtake, makes it look easy. I'm curious to see how his lap times compare to Duck Lovers, as Duck Lovers is in the pits. Duck Lovers is in the pits. Looks like they have new tires. What will they be? Looks like a new set of intermediate tires. So he's going to stick with the intermediate tires, see how he comes up. There's a 5-second gap, or 4.5-second gap, when he when Ize pitted. What will it be now as he exits the pits? We shall see. Ize's
Definitely
coming
be in
down
front.
past the finish line. I think that'll be more than a 5-second gap. As
Yeah,
Bob,
he's got a 24-second gap. Well, actually, 9-second gap
So,
right now. But let's have a look. As
Campbell's in the pits, gets intermediates again. So Ize takes the gamble with the wets. They don't seem to be paying off right now. Second place, but we'll see if he's able to close that gap. Any more pit action, Biggles?
Just one other driver there, Lewis, back in P14. He's also gambled onto the wets, but still, I need these drivers have not completed a full lap under the wet tires yet to be able to get a great indication of what time they can do as opposed to the intermediate tires.
It's going to be interesting because obviously Ize and Deck Levers are both in clean air right now, each on different tires. So we shall see what they're able to do. We'll see. I'll wait for next lap. We'll go back to you, Biggles, to see what you think.
Oh, yeah, actually, as he's set the fastest first sector right now under these tire conditions at 35.9. Everybody else is in the 36, 37s, 38s, 39s. This is looking good. 22.3. He's on the same pace as Duck Lovers in the second sector. So it's right on the borderline right now.
It's just
Whether the wets or the inters are the best choice.
Just
So
a question.
We should see.
It's a question if this rain will get any harder or not, or stay as it is. Bit of a gamble. We shall see if how well Jeff is doing for each of them. Will probably be a complainer at the end of the race. As Dick Tucker is in the pits as well, was in P3 coming in. Looks like he is going for full wets as well. Looks like in a new front wing, so wets seem to be the order of the day. As MLB Prodigy is, well, he is in the gravel, but he's also in P3. And if he's not...
We have a little request from the fans there to show Rez, as Rez makes a move, as obviously Dick Tucker and Camel box. So Rez is up in a P5. He's also half a second away from Rumcon. So a little shout out there from one of his Twitch fans. And so, yeah, they're just asking whether they can show him. And it looks like he's got a good battle there if he can get past Rumcon.
As Dick Tucker on those wets is going to try to get a move done as well. Everyone is struggling for grip, no matter what tire they have. Rez is sliding all around. Dick Tucker has much better speed. You can hear the rain pelting against the cars, really coming down in torrents. So wets might be the way to go. It looks like the rain is getting harder. And that gap is down 5 seconds now between Ize and Duck Lovers. So it is dropping, and Noon goes into the pits again.
Yeah, Izzy's not getting that much, but last second sector from Duck Lovers was a 22.4. Izzy was a 22.39. And Sector 3, 25.2 for Duck Lovers, 24.8. So now he's starting to gain some time.
Dick Tucker and Rez are battling, banging wheels. Rez stays in position. Looks like he's going to let Dick Tucker back through. Didn't feel like that overtake was legit. Running a bit deep and pushing him off the track. Good sportsmanship there by Rez, but P6 struggling for traction. You can see the tremendous difference between Dick Tucker and Rez. So as Dick Tucker, no, he's not in the pit, sorry. It looks like MLB Prodigy is. And Ramacron.
Yeah, Big Lovers has had a big spin on the first couple of corners, and he's resumed pace right now as Ramacron and Dick will be able to see him up ahead. So what happened there? But he's running all the way back there in P16.
You can just see the gap between the top two drivers, 30 seconds between second and third.
Yeah, that's a lot of time there. But we're seeing that gap with FST on the wets dropping at least 5 tenths per lap now with Duck Lovers in front on the intermediates.
As Dick Tucker, another great battle between wet and intermediates is Dick Tucker. As Dick Tucker gets a bit sideways, good job of catching that, and is again fighting the car. The Ferrari is driving just like the real Ferrari, impossible. And thinks about it, but puts on the brakes, stays behind Ramacron. Will try to get a move done going down the straight. Yellow in Sector 2. Looks like that is Noon in the Ferrari. And we'll stay on board here to see if a move gets done. I would like to go down as Noon retires. And Dick Tucker has just so much more traction. Has to lift. As Ramacron is in the pits. He has had enough of his intermediate tires. He looks like he will probably go to wets. And Camel and Buffalo Beans were fighting a moment ago. Looks like Camel had to back off a bit with the virtual safety car.
Yeah, the virtual safety car because Noon is stopped on track at the end of Sector 2.
Buffalo Beans goes very in the gravel. Goes Buffalo Beans. And he's going to lose a position to Ramacron, who pitted ahead. And there's a bit of contact there. I don't think it was enough to cause damage. Looks like his wing is fine. But he loses 2 positions there into the gravel. And he's going to be upset about that.
So this is interesting. Look at the telemetry data right now. It looks like they're pretty evenly matched between Duck Lovers and Izzy. They're kind of gaining and non-gaining between the different sectors. So once again, I think the wets are good, but they are on cusp. I think the inters are really showing performance on the straights, and whether or not those wet tires will last as we're on lap 25 or 36 is the big question for Izzy's gamble.
Yeah, Dick Tucker also just got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the safety car.
So that gap is
That
down.
might cost him third.
Yep, it might. It might. Most definitely might. But that gap is really dropping between EZ and Duck Lovers. But honestly, if I'm Duck Lovers, I'm not going to do anything. There's no reason to. I might as well battle it out for first place. And you know, top 2 finish is almost guaranteed with 35 seconds further back to Rez, who is now in P3 as Dick Tucker is in the pits for his drive-through penalty. So Rez will be in P3 with his, I believe he has intermediate tires. So podium position for him, 4 seconds back to Camel, who has the wet. So that's another bit of a thing to look out for as Dick Tucker comes out right behind. Only loses 2 positions, so not bad for him, but there's a big fight here between Ramacron, Dick Tucker, and Camel. And we shall see how this plays out. As Karen Smith looks to have binned it into the wall. Let's see if as another virtual safety car comes out. And that every time a virtual safety car comes out instead of a safety car, Duck Lovers and Eze breathe a huge sigh of relief because that 40-second gap is crucial for them being able to basically play their own game, have their own strategy. And they will look to maintain that as long as possible. 10 laps to go in the Dutch Grand Prix as we have contact between Dick Tucker. I don't know if there was any damage there. That was unfortunate. Looks like he was unaware of Camel slowing down in front. I hope he doesn't have damage. He does, though. He has tremendous damage. He will have to pit. He's going to be upset about that for sure. And he's going to drop him down to P7. So
it looks like Camel only got a warning there, or Dick Tucker only got a warning. So
Camel was pretty much stopped on the track, but obviously you don't want to be red when the virtual safety car ends, so it's hard to blame him for that. And it's hard to stop quickly if you're not quite paying attention because of the wet tires. So bit of a could go either way there. Very unfortunate for Dick Tucker. Good for him. He only loses a couple positions.
Yeah, Dick Tucker also exits on the box. So he had 19.6 set, well, a lot slower there. So he served some sort of penalty or had to replace some sort of damage. But 19 seconds and exiting the pits on the inters as well.
So back to inters for him. That's another front wing for Dick Tucker. Another Girl Scout cookie for me. Yellow in Sector 1. Not sure. It looks like that was MLB Prodigy, who had a bit of a fun time through Turn 4.
Yeah, you mentioned Dick Tucker going back on the intermediates, and we have Zay Bernasi in the chat also saying, is the rain getting lighter? Which to me, it seems like it has gone back a notch.
Maybe slightly. It's still pretty wet out there. It might be slightly lighter, but I wouldn't give it by much. As Ramakan tries to get a good exit, using overtake, Camel to the outside, Ramakron to the inside, breaks a bit early, fighting side by side through turn 1. A little bit of contact between the two of them. Ramakron has the inside line, and a car length ahead will move up into P4. Good racing between those two. Good respectful racing, leave each other plenty of room as T-Boy moves up into P11.
I think the rain has lightened up some because we're seeing that gap shoot up between Issy and Duck Lovers, and
That's
Issy is going to
as
pit now.
Ize's in the pits. Ize's in the pits with 8 laps to go. He's had enough of those wet tires, and the gamble may have paid off for Duck Lovers, able to hang on there with his intermediates. And FST has a penalty, but is they also?
He's serving the penalty, yes, and he is going back out on the inters, I believe.
But
So
he's able to use that gap, stay into P2, and he's interesting choice that he would.
He was not gaining on the Duck Lovers right there. He was practically almost matching his pace, but as you said, as you just noticed before, it's not raining any harder right now. So if anything, it's going to probably dry out, and wets that he was on was not going to work for him to go to the end of the race.
I guess the 40-second gap wasn't quite enough the last 8 laps if the tire got that bad, so decided to pit, hang on to P2 for sure with his tire still has a 20-second gap. As Buffalo Beans moves up into P5 as Camel is also back into the pits onto the intermediate tires, so the strategy to stay on the intermediate tires through that heavy rain is a game-winning decision potentially for a lot of these drivers. Ramacron might have to pit. Buffalo Beans only 5 seconds back to him. That gap is already closing as he exits the pit lane. And Buffalo might be able to get up into P4. Rez has inters. All the top 3 have inters right now. And it could be very interesting to see how this plays out.
We got some shout outs there from Zay. Go, 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 Rez. Good job there. Rez is up in P3, as you know there. And Debens, go Beans, go. Beans is a little like, Beans is still up there, but Beans can get a chance there. But Bob Beans actually is out of the race, so I'm sorry. Stone penalties. Yeah, it's going to be interesting strategy right now.
For sure. No really close battles right now. We have 7 laps to go, and this tire difference will be very interesting to see how it plays out. Looks like Ramacron is coming back down the pit straight. We'll see if he goes in for a new set of tires. It looks like he will. Ramacron is in the pits. Locks up. He did not speed the pit lane. Great braking by Ramacron. I'd never seen that. All of his tires were locked up as he skidded in to the pit box. And Dick Tucker and Buffalo Beans move up 1 position. Ramacron back onto the intermediate tires as Camel is coming through, but looks like he won't be quite close enough. Ramacron will sneak into P6, but Buffalo Beans up into P4, and he's going to have to hang on to that. Well, let me go back here for a moment. That gap was very low, but looks like Ramacron got his new intermediates underneath him and is on the go. And yet, Ramacron is already trying to open that gap up as little as he can. Dick Tucker to Buffalo Beans, just under 2 seconds now. So that will be the gap to keep an eye on that for the next few laps. And Duck Lovers is really just cruising. He's just got to be very careful. Only 6 laps. Looks like we have a Williams, a big Lovins, a bit off there in turn 4. But if you're Duck Lovers, he has to be pretty excited right now. And let's go on board. Big Lovins is very much struggling. Looks like he's having a hard time. I don't know if something's broken.
Gap, between Dick Tucker and Buffalo is now only 0.3.
As Dick Tucker is looking down the inside, that gap, Buffalo Beans must have made some type of mistake because that gap really closed in this past half a lap. And Dick Tucker back into P4. What a crazy race from him. All those front wings that he's gone through, all those pitting, the drive-through penalty, and he's still in P4. Buffalo Beans drops back into P5, and Big Lovins still cannot get back up on the track. He's sitting there on the side of the road.
Dick Tucker has gone into the pits 5 times, so 2 times more than third place Rez, and 3 times more than Buffalo Beans behind him. So he definitely has the pace. It's just been really unlucky, as you mentioned, with those front wing damages.
The drivers were joking about 5-stop pit strategy earlier on before the race in the chat, and it looks like that actually might be happening, which is quite funny to imagine. But Buffalo Beans, 6 seconds with 5 laps to go, just has to stay, can afford to go a second slower than Ramacron behind to hang on to P5. But we shall see how that hangs out as T-Boy moves up past Louise into P11.
I'm trying to keep an close idea what's happening with Duck Lovers right now. His pace is slowing to Izzy. So are we seeing the cliff falling off those inters right now? There's another shout out. Hold Beans, hold. So Beans has a lot of fans at the moment, but Duck Lovers is the guy that is under threat right now from FTC Izzy, who is the championship leader.
He can afford to lose 4 seconds a lap on the driver behind and still be fine. So 5 seconds a lap now. So I don't think he's too worried. But that gap between Ramacron is already closing 4.5 seconds now to Buffalo Beans. And this could be some last lap drama coming our way. Really what a race so far. Let's go on board with All Boy. Taking a peek at Isotin. Isotin's still on those wet tires. So it looks like the rain is back to coming down harder. So those wets might be better right now. It's really been back and forth between those two tire compounds as All Boy tries to look up the inside. Doesn't quite have the acceleration right behind Isotin as they sweep through turn 5, 6, and 7. Mini Suzuka.
I managed to get hold of... sorry to cut you off there. I managed to get hold of Earl Jenkins, who had retired early in he's down P18. He had retired early. I believe it was like lap... oops, sorry. I can't pull it. Lap 8 or whatever. He said that he was filling out the tires when the safety car was out, and we lost traction in the final turn because of the safety car was coming in, and he slammed into the wall. So very unfortunate.
Thank you. As All Boy gets past Isotin, good move there. Inters are obviously the slightly better choice. Isotin back into P10, but he'll still be able to keep his point. And 3 laps to go. That gap between Ize and Duck Lovers has only dropped about a second. So good news for him. Ramacron is now only 2.5 seconds back of Buffalo Beans, so this could be close as we now have 3 laps to go.
Yeah, we'll see if Ramacron can close this gap here.
Isotin is in the pits for his set of intermediates. He has a big gap behind a T-Boy, so is able to get a free pit stop there and stay into P10. As Ramacron is now, he can see Buffalo Beans in front. 1.5 seconds to go. He's going to try to hunt him down. Definitely has the speed. 1 second.
Another point here is Buffalo Beans is out of ERS, and Ramacron has 60%. So he can use that on the straights here and definitely catch up with the lack of, since there is no DRS here since it's wet.
As Buffalo Beans is into the wall just a bit, still hanging on to P5, but he is definitely struggling with those tires. I don't know if T-Boy in front put him off a bit. The Ghost can be hard to drive through. A bit distracting, but I don't think he has any damage. Looks like he has both of his end plates still. And didn't cost him half a second, so not the end of the world. But it puts him right in the clutches of Ramacron. That's 5-second penalties for MLB being in the pit lane, but I don't think that might affect him a little bit, but he has a 10-second gap to All Boy behind.
I have a quick chat to Bob Beans there. A little shout out that he retired there on lap 17. He had relayed that he's a rookie driver. He did not feel he was able to keep the pace in the rain, and the car setup was not what he wanted, so he retired.
All right, well, Buffalo Beans manages to get past the Ghost of T-Boy, I believe. And that gap is down to 3/10. Ramacron is coming. Will he have enough speed into the braking zone? Ramacron sweeping to the inside. Has the inside line there. And he will get the move done down the inside late on the brakes. And that is P5 for Ramacron. Buffalo Beans down to P6. 2 laps to go. He will stay there most likely if he can keep his car on the track.
Am I seeing Prodigy at P10 on softs?
Yeah.
Is that...
Oh, wow, okay.
He is on soft tires. Has the rain the rain, I guess there is a bit of a dry line coming out, but bold move. He has 1 lap to go. 5 seconds to T-Boy. That could be very funny. I think maybe he ran out of wet tires. That's the only thing I can... Yeah, he is struggling. Those have no grip whatsoever, and he's going to be passed by T-Boy here in a moment if he's not careful. Let's go on. This is like a Lewis Verstappen trying to hunt down Hamilton moment. Maybe that's why T-Boy was pressing so hard, because MLB Prodigy has spun, and he is out of the points. T-Boy is through. 1 lap to go. Has the last point position. He's going to be very happy about that.
Yeah, obviously great for Duck Lovers right now. Commanding the race. Doing it good there for the orange McLaren. So, going to be like crossing the line. He's going to be starting the last lap of the race now. Commanding, and Ezzy's probably wondering if his strategy paid off switching to those wets, whereas Duck Lovers had decided to not, and Duck Lovers had the 1 less pit stop as well. So Jeff is working a little better right now than Ezzy's.
Yep. So Duck Lovers, he's in the McLaren, but you think he's in the Mercedes, 17 seconds ahead. But really great racing by those top 2, first and second. As we'll go on board with Duck Lovers as he rounds Zandvoort for 1 last time. Looks like he's taking it easy. That gap is dropping to easy, but he doesn't care because it's 1 lap. And he just has a few more corners to go. Great racing by those top 2. Rez, really surprising, moving up into P3. He looks like he'll have that last podium position if he can hang on from Dick Tucker, who's 4 seconds back. As we have, it looks like Blue Cow has spun. As here comes Duck Lover around the final turn. He will take the checkered flag. Will he do a weave? He does not do a weave. He's all business. Crosses the line. First place for Duck Lovers. Here comes Ize. He will take P2. No problem, it looks like. Yeah, I'm going to go on board with Duck Lovers here. With Dick Tucker, as he is closing in on Rees. I don't think it'll be close enough to get a move done, but it should be interesting.
And why did Camel box at the last lap there? P7. And change to the wet tires. Very interesting strategy. Still hasn't crossed the line.
Yeah, as it stopped raining. Not really sure what I was thinking there.
I don't think it affected him all that much. As Rees fends off the challenge from Dick Tucker on the last lap. I don't know if he has any time penalties. This could be interesting. Crosses the line. Dick Tucker loses the car, crossing the finish line. Stays in P4. That could have been extremely embarrassing. He went for the weave. Wasn't well advised. And he managed to cross the line sideways. And Ramakron P5. And Dick Tucker in his Ferrari is trying to not look like a complete fool, but he does.
The Twitch is lighting up right now. Zay and King Kutha are all like, good boy, Rez. Rez has the fan boost, and he gets that final podium spot. So congratulations to him.
He's going to be very, very happy. This is his, I believe, 3rd race in LOR. And he has a bit of bad luck. The first 2 in Japan, not his favorite track. Comes to a track which he says he does not like. And he does very well. Gets the strategy right. Steals the last podium position. And he will be up on the steps, along with the top 2 of Ize and Duck Lovers. What a race. What action on the grid. I'm not sure if I agree with that driver of the day. I think Rez might be my driver of the day for that. P6 to P3, I believe, if I remember that correctly. So great job by Rez getting a podium position. And there is Duck Lovers with his trophy. And they'll spray the champagne. Good bounce back by Ize. Crashed out of the Japanese Grand Prix last week, able to fight back. Difficult conditions, get P2. Really great race by everyone. Ramakron P5, Dick Tucker P4. Dick Tucker really did really well after those horrible crashes. I don't know how many wings he went through, and he had a drive-through penalty. So good for him to started first but ended up fourth. I don't think you can be complaining about that too much. And Rez, again, driver of the day for me, P6 to P3. We will be back in a moment with interviews. But do you think agree that Rez is driver of the day, you guys, or what do you think? Any thoughts? Looks like my team has gone silent, so I will go ahead and be.
Oh, sorry, I'm running around trying to grab all the drivers to get interviews, so I apologize.
That's no problem. We will be back in one moment, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. This is your final grid, and we will be back in a moment with interviews.
Is there interviews?
Yep.
I'm not sure.
You are in the interview room. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are joined first by Rez, finished P3. What a race! You started P6, third row, despite a pretty good qualifying. But what a crazy race! I don't know how many times you pitted, but you managed to sneak through ahead of Tucker into your first podium with Lights Out Racing. So, kind of go through the race from your perspective, and how happy are you with your first podium finish?
First of all, congratulations to first place. Oh man, those first two guys had some serious pace. I probably third was the best I could do, even if it stayed dry. The first lap was amazing. Got a good start. And then I guess I don't know if you saw the safety car restart. Tried to be a little too cheeky.
Yes, that was. You were first at the safety car, and you immediately were no longer first.
No, I was incredibly frustrated. But at least I know now not to give it full gas around that corner in the wets. So it's a learning experience. Apart from that, the race was intense. There's some fast guys out there, very, very fast. I just wanted to keep it on the black stuff, keep my own race. I don't know how many. I pitted for the wings, for the ring change, and then I think maybe 2 times after that again for the inters. So yeah, it was a great race. Thanks to everyone.
Congratulations, Raz. Good job. I'm very proud as a fellow Australian to see you up on the podium, shaking the
Thanks, mate.
champagne.
Thanks,
And I
buddy.
hope you enjoy the shoey there. And you're also pretty good. Like your fastest lap is 112.9. The fastest lap in the race was 112.7 set by Dick. So you said you weren't as quick as those guys, but at the end of the day, that pace was there, obviously on the softs when it was dry. Congratulations, mate. Super proud.
Thank you very much.
All right, congratulations. And second driver we'll interview today is Buffalo Beans. Pretty up and down race for you. You ended up in a pretty good position, but you had a lot of fans on the stream today encouraging you on. So tough race out there, huh? Conditions were a bit difficult. It seemed like there was a bit of an issue deciding between intermediate and wet. So kind of, can you explain to me how that kind of conundrum went during the race?
Oh no, I got a 3 second or a drive-through penalty on the virtual safety car, so that's what the second pit was for. And yeah, no, I was doing well. I thought the first start on mediums, go into the rain onto the inters, and then FST is so fast. He just blew by me, and I caught some dirty air, and I put it into the wall, and I had a pit.
Yeah, it seemed like the conditions were either really wet for wets or for intermediates. I think you switched back. Did you switch back and forth there between the
No,
two?
I was
Or
on
did-
intermediates the whole
Okay.
time.
Well, that definitely was the strategy to go, and it definitely gained you a few positions. Congratulations on your race, and I don't know if you want to give a shout out to your fans on the stream, but you have many of them.
Oh, I appreciate everyone watching, all your support. Thanks.
All right, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
All right, and our final interview is with the race winner. You won Saturday at this track. You won today in this track with a 17-second lead. You have to be loving Zandvoort. Might be your new favorite place to race.
Can you repeat that last part? Sorry.
I said you must be having a lot of fun at Zandvoort. Must be your favorite place to race. 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, it wasn't the easiest because I was right on FSTZ's tail trying to pass him, and it was starting to rain. And I spun, and you guys probably saw it.
Yep.
And I recovered, started going, and I was side by side with somebody in the Renault. And there was a person that had also spun, and he was coming back on track. And so the dude in the Renault shot right and basically punted me into the wall. So I had both red front wings and almost DNF. I'm surprised my wheel didn't pop off. But the leaders made the mistake of pitting 1 lap too late on their safety car, so that helped me a lot. And then it was
Yep.
an absolute calamity under this at safety car restart.
Yes.
Almost got taken out by who was in the other Campbell.
So
And then I just did one. And I was going along on my inters, and then I was checking if people behind me would pit or if they were gonna try to maybe go to the very end on one set, but I doubt that was ever gonna work. They went into the wets, or inters or something, and then I just stayed. I did one stop for another set of inters and just going on that. People behind were going all over the place between wets and inters.
yeah,
And I just kept
that seemed to be
on
the
my
race.
set.
Seemed to be the race wing decision was going inters instead of going for the wets like Ize did behind. So that was a good call. Did you make that call? Did Jeff want you to go to wets, or did you?
He did. I
Okay.
ignored it because I looked at the weather and there was only one slot of heavy rain, so I was
Okay.
like, it's gonna get drier again. So at the end, it wasn't raining at all. So
All right. Well, congratulations for your win today. That is your first win in the non-assists league. Congratulations, and you really took to the wet conditions like a duck to water. So congratulations, duck lover.
thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that race. That definitely was pretty action packed, exciting, lots of overtakes. The wet weather really did spice it up. And we will hopefully be here Thursday for another race here with Assist 2 at Zandvoort. And we will also be Saturday with the Assist 1 at Circuit of the Americas in Austin. So the American Grand Prix. Be sure to tune in for that. And of course, we'll be back next week on Tuesday for USA in non-assists. I want to thank you, each and every one of you, for taking the time to watch the stream this evening. Hope you enjoyed the racing. If you're interested, please join the Discord if you want to race. Season 2 signups end Thursday at midnight, so keep that in mind. Until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and a great week. Thank you so much, and enjoy the outro music. Take care.